Good afternoon. My name's Roger Latimer, and I'm going to show you how to tie a fly that is sold through FishUSA. It's called Roger's White Wiggler, i.e. the maggot fly. I developed this fly about 6 years ago after watching some fishermen using maggots for catching steelhead. And the problem with maggots is they do fall off the hook very easily. So I came up with a fly for fly fishermen or bait fishermen if they're using a spinning rod and floating something down a stream. I came up with this fly that has done quite well, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. When I developed this fly, it took me about 6 months because I wanted to use some type of chenille, something white, something that would resemble a maggot or maggots, cluster of maggots. And I'm very much one on using small hooks. I like to use flies of any type, but I don't like to see the hook. So I'm utilizing a size 18 lightning strike hook. It is their SE3. It's quite small, as you can see. Probably one of the biggest problems is tying it on the line. And you can see my magnetic dish, which is excellent to use if you're tying flies and don't want hooks all over the place. The material itself, it is a very small chenille, and it took me going, as I say, about 6 months going through materials that I was buying at the fly shops, buying at craft stores before I came across this particular material, which seems to work extremely well. So the object in doing this is to come up with a fly that resembles a cluster of maggots. And what we have to do is you've got to cut the chenille, trying to be about 3/4 inch. And I will cut and burn, well, first we'll cut it. Just cut a few for demonstration purposes. And then to make it look like a maggot, we have to burn the ends. And it's best to do it prior to assembling the fly. So once you get that going, you don't want to just stick it in here. You just a quick little turn. You've got to do, there's three on a three strands make up my maggot. We do that and turn them around. Do the other end. And I'm protecting the tabletop, and you might do this if you're doing them at home, with a piece of paper or a placemat, because sometimes the burnt end will stick and you don't want to destroy anything. So what you have to do, now that you've burned them and cut them, you can see here I've got a bag full that I've done, which I do ahead of time. I sort these, the maggots, after I've cut a bunch of them, by size, to try and come up with 3 that are pretty much equally the same length for manufacturing a fly. Fortunately, on the 3 I just cut and burned, I would say are good enough to manufacture a fly with or tie one with. Now I'll take my hook, size 18, put it in my vise. I use white thread, unithread, 6/0, and I will start by tying the shank and overlapping the line until I get the shank tied. And I've got a very nice little delicate pair of scissors I use to cut that off. I take it right on back to where the hook starts to bend down, and then I come back to be about even with the tip of the hook. I will take my 3 maggots, I will hold them together as a cluster, lay them on here, go around twice, go around 3 times, in the very same spot, and then pick the tips up and circle where I've tied onto the shank of the hook. And I will generally circle it 5 or 6 times. I'll hold the maggot ends back, tie off the shaft, and then I do a whip finish, and I generally do 2 whip finishes. 4, 5. Now, I've been told I don't really have to do 2, but I started it that way, and that's the way I do it. And there you have Roger's White Wiggler ready to use.